This week's episode is really focused around the fact that each of us have value and we're worth investing in ourselves. For some reason, I feel like I've seen a lot and read a lot of articles and books and things that I kind of really have gotten me thinking over the past couple of weeks about individuals who don't feel that they're worth much. And that is upsetting. It's sad. There are things that I just am speechless about, that when I think about that people feel that they aren't worth investing them in themselves. And it's taken me a couple weeks to really think about and try to put together something for this episode, because I think it's so important that everybody knows you have value. You are worth investing in yourself. You're worth people investing in you. And one story that I've heard a while ago, and I actually constantly think about it, but I didn't put it together for this episode until recently. It's actually an old Native American story where a grandfather is telling his grandson about how there's an internal fight going on in each of us between two wolves, an evil wolf and a good wolf, that are fighting inside each of us every single day. And the grandson asks the grandfather, which one wins? And the grandfather says, the one we choose to feed. And I think that story is unbelievable. I'm a big proponent of the balance between two things on a lot of different ideas and topics and everything. And I think this story puts it so well that we are battling with ourselves every single day. We have an internal dialogue with ourselves daily. And this story of the two wolves, I think, is really the most relevant with our own self-talk and our own personal perception of ourselves, let alone what we think other people think of us. Like, who gives a shit about that? But it's more how we see ourselves, the value we bring to ourselves, and how we talk to ourselves every single day. Really just, do you tell yourself you're doing a good job? Do you feed that wolf of good? Or do you tell yourself you fucked up constantly, or you're not good enough, or this isn't something that you could do? Like, that conversation internally with yourself, I think, is so important. And from what I've been seeing, it's something I feel is more common, unfortunately, in people than I would ever want to admit or realize. One of the things I think is the most important, and for me it's a financial side, as well as a mindset thing for me, is investing in yourself. One thing I've been trying to do recently and over the past couple of years has been financially spending money, yes, but spending it on things that are going to improve and allow me to grow. A couple of examples with this is really this podcast, the microphone, the video camera, the streaming platform. Just for one example, specifically to this, it was uncomfortable. It's allowing me to grow and get hopefully better at telling stories and investing in this, but it's also investing in others. Going out of your way to help somebody out when they ask you for help. Going out of your way, even if somebody doesn't ask you for help, to help them. The biggest thing I see every once in a while is, for me, sports is a huge thing, and how professional athletes spend millions of dollars to develop themselves, keep themselves in the peak physical condition that they need to be in order to perform at their highest ability. Why don't we have that mindset as well? Why don't we take even this little smidgen of money to invest in ourselves on a monthly basis, on a semi-annually basis, on a quarterly basis, on a yearly basis, even if it's the smallest thing, but it's something that's going to allow us to continue to grow ourselves. That's not, to me, just spending money for a night out and money that isn't invested in us. But it's something that's going to help us feel better about ourselves, help us improve who we are, and really see the value that we bring. Honestly, for me, this is something that I had to really early on, I think, in my life, looking back on it, be okay with, and try to find that value in the things that I'm good at, because of certain things as I was growing up that I didn't want everybody to be able to see. So I needed to kind of, as I express it, shade these areas of my life so I can bring value to myself and some of the people really just that are the closest to me. Like there are things that I've developed in very close family friends that have had no idea that I've had these things that I've had to deal with, that my mom's brought up to me, that I've been able to work around it and develop other characteristics and other things to keep that out of the light. For me, I've found from conversations with people I've just met since I've moved is the fact that I'm a little bit reserved at first. I don't necessarily go immediately out of my way to meet new people. And that is a good and a bad thing. Especially in a larger group setting. For me, that's one thing that I do very, very often. I'll meet somebody, they'll tell me their name, I'll tell them mine, kind of deal, but it's really, unless there's an engaging conversation or something where we have that social interaction, I'm going to kind of stand back a little bit. It's really helped me listen and better understand other people in that social setting. I can more easily pick up on who are the people that are more outgoing, who are the people that are a little bit more reserved, what are their things that they're talking about. When I'm just sitting there and listening to them, it's helped me develop those skills. For me, another thing that I had to develop very early on because of things I wasn't proud of as a kid and just school bullshit, was the ability for me to think on my feet and to do it very quickly, so people wouldn't pick up on certain things, certain little quirks that I have and things that I honestly was ashamed of. It wasn't anything that I could necessarily change. I tried to seek help and nothing really helped. But the skill that I was able to pick up on, and it's really helped me, I feel, a lot in my life, is really that ability to think quickly on my feet and be able to adjust. And with that also came a comfort with being open to different experiences, any kind of food, and just being open to other people and what they're doing. It's allowed me to really branch out when I do get comfortable with other people and realize kind of what that social dynamic is. But because of something that I was ashamed of as a kid, it helped me develop these other skills and these other abilities for me to really bring value to my own life that I feel do better than others, as well as help me connect more with people when that connection happens. And that's something I think for me is awesome. And it's something I think more people need to take a step back at. Hey, you might not like this about yourself, but because of that, what are the other things that you've been able to do and accomplish and learn about yourself because of that? I know, like I said a couple of times already, a lot of people have, I think, this negative conversation with themselves far too often. Like I mentioned in an earlier episode, we are our own worst critic. And because of that, people don't feel that they have as much value to bring to the table than they really actually do, in especially certain areas. It seems that they don't feel like they have a lot to offer. And for me, there's very close friends, family of mine that years ago I saw this happening. And it was something that I needed to try to have conversations with them about. That, hey, you can do this. This is something you can do. You just have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Close friend of mine constantly and I talk, and it's one conversation that we constantly have of his career and personal development around certain areas. And it's having me have conversations with them about how far they've come, the things that they've been able to accomplish, and the things that I think neither of us really thought that they would be doing right now. And trying to shy that negative self-talk that they do slip into from time to time, and making that a more positive conversation with themselves. It's unfortunate to me that some of my closest people have this conversation with themselves, and I feel like there's plenty of other people that deal with that, and I want to let you know everybody has that value. Everybody is worth investing in. And if you can pick one thing to help somebody else out, whether it's something simple, helping them realize something that they do great, helping you realize you do something great, do that. Be that person that is continuing to build yourself and build others up. So this is the question that I want to leave you guys with this week. Do you know how valuable you really are? Do you go through your day talking yourself in a more positive or negative way when you accomplish or don't accomplish certain things? When was the last time, and I mean the last time, that you truly invested in yourself, in your own development, in what you care about, that you want to improve in yourself? So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed my take on the fact that everyone is valuable and they are all worth it. You are worth it. We all have our own set of skills and talents that make us an asset. I just think that sometimes too many people allow that evil wolf from the story inside of us to win that fight far too often, daily, because we continue to feed it. But we need to feed that good wolf, feed the things that are bringing us enjoyment and passion, and having that positive internal conversation with ourselves. We need to stop losing sight of who we are and the worth that we all have. I'm really looking forward to hearing your guys' thoughts, your feelings, and your opinions on this week's episode. Please do leave a comment. Follow our social media pages at Build Your Alpha, and I hope that you guys do join us next week. But until then, take every day as a blessing, because the next is not guaranteed. So take that chance, be authentic, and always know you are the only you.